How's the royal family? I pray that everyone is doing well. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Queen Maxine for sending me the article that she sent about unquote fake sugar. So my royal family, we're going to get into it. And we are in Nairobi, Kenya. So let me read. I'm not going to read all of this article because it's a very long article, but I'm going to read what is absolutely necessary. The sugar that was brought into country last year, which has since kicked off a firestorm, now threatens to isolate Kenya from some of her key African trading partners. Kenya is at odds with her peers in East African community, and then they have it in parentheses EAC, and the Common Market of Eastern and Southern Africa. First, the imported sweeteners might have found its way into neighboring countries in form of manufactured products, inflaming a trade war that has threatened to fracture the EAC as Uganda and Tanzania access Kenya's manufacture of, wait a minute, I said that wrong, accuse Kenya's manufacturers of foul play. Okay, why did you jump up? Where you at? There you go. Manufacturers either by being complicit or in error use cheap sugar on their products, giving the cakes, sweets, and ice cream a pricing edge over their competitors. Despite the countrywide sweet, state agencies, East Africa partners are unconvinced and have insisted on testing the sugar to ascertain its source before talks can commence. The matter is being handled by the council, and we have officials from Uganda who are currently carrying out inspections as we await their results, said a source at the EAC Affairs Ministry, who are not authorized to speak to the press. Now, this long-ass article, I mean, it is long, and then there is links after links after links, and I will leave it to the royal family if they want to read it much deeper. The one thing that I do want to say, the government is heavily involved in this, and there is a great deal of corruption, and you will hear about it on the video. And then I have a bonus video that I'm going to play for the royal family. I'll just leave it right there, just to show you how these folks get down even in America. Oh, we're not going to leave nobody out. You know, they always want to make sure that they point their fingers always over in Akibalon. So, let's see what's really going on.
Selling counterfeit sugar worth 3 million shillings at Diamond Wholesalers stores in Eastleigh, Nairobi. The three are said to have sold white and brown sugar of substandard value, counterfeit cooking oil, and have used the Kenya Bureau of Standards marks without permit. Currently, there are 25 suspects charged for either direct or indirect dealing of counterfeit sugar. However, even as a public service deputy, Wanyama Musiambo admitted laxity at the border's entry and exit points and other government checkpoints. The identity of the real culprits remains a secret. NTV's Mel Miendo reports.
With their faces fully covered, Dahir Ahmed, Mohammed Dahir and Ahmed Sheikh faced Milimani Senior Principal Magistrate Martha Mutuku to answer to charges of repackaging and selling counterfeit sugar worth 3 million in Nairobi's Eastleigh area. The traders who sold the commodity at Diamond Wholesalers store in Eastleigh are said to have retailed 92,250 kilogram bags of counterfeit white sugar, 20,450 kilograms of brown sugar, and 64,820 liter jerrycans of counterfeit cooking oil worth 1.5 million. These they sold with unauthorized standardization marks from the Kenya Bureau of Standards. Other than these three, 25 other suspects have been arrested over links to the contraband sugar. No names have yet been mentioned despite the obvious culpability of state agencies that seem to point at influential interference at entry points in the importation of the contraband.
What is it that we need to do better so that in future we don't have all these things coming in? Hii uchafu yote inaingia. Do we need to tighten at the border? And you remember the other day we talked about our entry and exit points. To what extent are we going to tighten?
In Ol Kalou, thousands of bags of sugar, among other goods, were impounded during a police raid said to belong to an Ol Kalou businessman who owns a supermarket chain, which has branches in Nyahururu and Naivasha towns. Some of the sugar had labels indicating manufactured by West Kenya Sugar Company Limited and was clearly marked not for sale, for industrial use only. During the raid, over 30 employees of Jamaa supermarket were found repackaging the sugar in Jamaa branded packaging bags. Another brand of sugar has its origin indicated as Brazil but packed by Sakuma Exports Limited, which has its address in Mumbai, India.
We want to be sure that whatever is inside here is genuine. So we have asked for the documents. We have also invited other agencies, KRA, Kenya Bureau of Standards officers to come over so that we can team up and verify and confirm whether they are genuine or not.
Attendants at the Jamaa supermarket in Naivasha could be seen removing the sugar from the shelves Monday afternoon, with police seeking to verify the product back in Ol Kalou. In Meru, 3,000 bags weighing 150,000 kilograms of contraband sugar was seized at Kanini Haraka wholesale shop at Makutano Shopping Center, North Imenti constituency. 10 suspects found repackaging the sugar from its original sacks to sacks labeled produce of Zambia were arrested. The owner of the raided outlet is said to own yet another in Maua town, with police expected to seize the sugar stored. It has not yet been established as to whether all the supermarkets across the counties will be checked for chemical analysis to be conducted in the retail sugar stocked. Regardless of this, however, Public Service Deputy Head Wanyama Musiambo was reluctant on warning Kenyans of continuous consumption of the sugar sold in retail outlets, leaving consumers at the mercies of unscrupulous traders.
All that we have must go through testing before we pronounce and say, leave it or continue taking it.
Still, a further 250 bags of suspected contraband sugar has also been impounded at Ketia's Drapers Limited, Wholesale Cash and Carry Pressings in Eldoret Town, Uasin Gishu County. Of the 2,000 bags recently nabbed in Kitui County, detectives investigating the alleged sale have detained business tycoon Simon Mwangi Ndongo and moved to court, asking that the suspect be kept for 7 more days as investigations are conducted. Mwangi is the owner of several chain stores in the Mount Kenya region. In Ruiru, where a large consignment of counterfeit sugar was nabbed from Palea Stores Hardware, it is now emerging that the store belongs to Patrick Njiru, brother to the Kirinyaga women representative Purity Ngirichi. The twist to this is that the High Court in Kirinyaga County has barred police from arresting the politician's brother and his wife over the matter, and have instead accepted an anticipatory bill of 200,000 shillings from the couple. In Kitale, police also seized 550 bags of contraband sugar at a store in Kitale town. The consignment is suspected to have come from Uganda. Mel Miendo, NTV.
All right, my royal family, let me put that on hold. And I want to go over here real quick. Now, aspartame, that's fake sugar. And I know over in overseas, these unquote shitholes that Trump like to call, they don't like dealing with anything fake. They don't want GMOs or anything like that. So I just thought it would be fitting to also put in this other video that we have to deal with our fake sugar issues, because you know they want to make them look real bad, and you know government is corrupt. Now real or fake sugar? Does it matter? This is dated August 14th, 2013. So let's listen to the lies.
Coca-Cola is defending its use of a controversial sweetener as many of its low and no-calorie drinks. In a full-page ad in today's Atlanta edition of USA Today, Coke says the safety of aspartame is supported by more than 200 studies over the past 40 years. Now, the ad is part of Coke's pushback against critics who blame sugary drinks for soaring obesity rates. Joining me now from New York is CNN chief medical correspondent Dr. Sanjay Gupta. So this is kind of confusing to me. So I know that the sales of Coke are plummeting, right? They're trying to get them back up. So they put this ad out saying, oh, our Diet Coke is safe. I never knew it wasn't.
Well, it's interesting, right? So in your case, you know, I think if you've looked at some of the data or you've paid attention to this, the idea that aspartame is unsafe or causes cancer or something, I don't think that there's science to show that. I mean, you know, it's been around for a long time. The FDA has deemed it safe, but also other studies, as you just mentioned, have looked at this specific issue, and this has been, you know, decades now of research. The American Cancer Society has weighed in on this as well, specifically with regard to causing cancer. I think in part what's prompted it is what you're saying, but also there was a couple of studies over the last several years, not looking so much at cancer, but saying there's this association, people who drink diet sodas do tend to be heavier and have more, be more likely to be obese and develop diabetes. And the science there is much more nascent. I mean, which is coming first? Is it that the people who have developed obesity, have problems with diabetes, are more likely to drink diet sodas? Or is it something about the diet soda that in fact makes you more likely to develop those conditions? We don't know for sure right now, but what this ad campaign is really about is saying that it's safe, I think, in terms of the way people think about it in its relationship to cancer.
Okay, so I'm going to read Coke's statement about the ad, and then I'm going to ask you another question on the other side. This is from Coke. Low and no-calorie sweeteners offer a great way for people to manage their calories while still enjoying the sweet taste of the beverages and products that they love. But we know that people have questions about aspartame. We created this print ad to address their concerns and make it easier for them to get the facts. So you're a doctor, and I know you've done a lot of research on this, Dr. Sanjay Gupta. So in your opinion, should we drink Diet Coke?
You know, I occasionally have diet drinks myself. I think like with most things, you know, you want to do it in moderation. I think that, look, I think people who are concerned about taking in a lot of calories, this may be a way to get fewer calories for them. If you're drinking regular sugary drinks and you're looking for a way to still get the sweet taste, it could be a good option for you. I think if the question really is this going to help me, you know, not develop obesity or diabetes, the science is still sort of answering that question. If the question is this going to possibly lead to cancer, and is there a safety issue in that regard, I think the science is much clearer there. I don't think that there is a link between aspartame and cancer, for example.
All right, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, thanks so much for filling us in. We appreciate it.
So I just thought I would just add that as a bonus, my royal family. Now, even though over in Africa they're having their issues with fake sugar, we're having our issues too over here. It's one and the same. They lie to the people, all right? You heard that there over there in Africa there happen to be some politicians in the mix. They won't allow them to be arrested. They just had to break off some coins. It was just very necessary because I just couldn't just let this country get away with their fuckery. So my royal family, render your voice with your beautiful divine words. And as always, my royal family, I thank you for your love. I thank you for your support. And with that said, Ashe.